Hey, fellow Rotarians, my name's Renee Carden, and I am so excited for you joining me today. I am at Sweet Acre Farms Winery, and I'd love to introduce you to Matt and his team. Just come on inside.
Hey, welcome to Sweet Acre Farms Winery. My name is Matt Variotis, and I'm the owner at Sweet Acre Farms Winery.
I'm Taylor Denton. I'm the manager and winemaker here at Sweet Acres.
And we're located in North Hall County, right on the edge of Habersham and Hall County, in a little town called Lula or Alto, Georgia. We've been here for about 5 years, and we're very happy, very proud of what we've got out here. We're on a 46-acre farm. This is land that we bought, that we cut the trees down, we pulled the stumps, we graded the land, we sowed the seed, we put up the fences, we built the buildings, and we started a winery. The story kind of goes is we started a U-pick blackberry patch and had all these blackberries, and before we knew, we had more blackberries that we could sell or more blackberries that we could make jelly out of. My wife comes to me one day and she says, "You've got to do something with all of this fruit." So we made jellies and jams and all kinds of stuff, and we still had too much, so I decided to make wine. And we made 3 batches of blackberry wine, 2 batches of peach wine, and I made a batch of fig wine. You know what fig wine tastes like?
Probably like figs.
And it tastes like figs. It was disgusting. So we decided not to make fig wine. Started giving out to family members and friends, and before we knew it, we had it all given out, and they just loved it. And they kind of fooled me into thinking that I knew how to make wine. Started going, and we ran out. So we started going to grocery stores and other local wineries and thought, maybe we'll just go buy blackberry wine or buy some fruit wine so we didn't have to make any. And we realized there wasn't very much out there. And if you could find fruit wine, it was water-based or grape-based, muscadine-based, or it was made from concentrates or artificial flavors. And we thought, man, I like our 100% fruit, all-natural product. And it kind of hit us. Maybe we'll do a more natural wine. There's a hole in the market. So we just went after it. I started visiting other local wineries, Cavender Creek, 12 Spies, Tiger Mountain, a couple other wineries, and we thought maybe this is what we'll do. So we broke ground on this building in 2015, had it open by 2016, and we've been open ever since. Like I said, we specialize in fruit wines, and I know grapes are fruit, but we make blackberry, blueberry, strawberry, peach wine. It's 100% fruit, no water, no concentrates, no artificial flavors. It's just blackberry, it's just blueberry, it's just apple. We do our best to source all of our fruit from local Georgia farms. Sometimes we have to go out of state, so sometimes we get strawberries from Florida, but it's all 100% fruit, and we love it. We've had a lot of fun with it. We've had some of our wines have won multiple gold medals and awards. Our apple bourbon won best fortified wine in the state of Georgia a couple years ago.
It was really good.
One of the best selling wines that we've had has been our blackberry apple wine. It's our Bramblin' Sam. Our Bramblin' Sam wine is based on the original recipe of the very first wine that I've ever made. So when I first made that first batch of blackberry wine, it was a blackberry apple wine. And from there, it just kind of caught on. The first time I made it in a big batch, I made a mistake and added way too much sugar, thinking that it was gonna ferment. And it turned out to be this super, super just sweet wine. And I almost dumped it out because it was too sweet, but I decided I was too broke not to bottle it and sell it. So we bottled it and sell it, and it has been our #1 best-selling wine since then.
And people cannot get enough of it. I mean, it's crazy how, people even get upset because we don't have it. It is that is what we are known for, is our Bramblin' Sam.
Every time we make a batch of it, we sell out of it within a couple months. We think, oh, we'll just make a whole pallet of it, and it gets gone. We said, well, we'll up it. We'll do 2 pallets of it, and it gets gone. And we've got people who come in, and because it is a very sweet wine, we get a lot of dry drinkers who come in and think, oh no, we don't want any of that, and they try it and they buy it by the case, because even though it's a sweeter wine, it's full flavored, so you get all kinds of blackberry notes. And because we use 100% blackberry, you're getting flavor notes of bitter, sour, tart, and the sweet. Just like if you were to go pick wild blackberries out in the forest, not every blackberry tastes the same. So when you pop one in your mouth, one is gonna be tart, one is gonna be sour, one's gonna be bitter, and one's gonna be that perfect sweetness. But when you blend that all together in a wine, you get such a multi-layered
complexity of the blackberries that come through the wine. And that's what I tell a lot of people when they come here and try our wines. You know, yes, they are sweeter wines, but they're 100% fruit. They're not going to be the overly sweet, the syrupy. They're going to be the natural sugars that you get from the fruit, from the vine or bush or tree, however the fruit comes from.
Yeah, we like to say we're responsibly sweet. So even though we've got a sweet ass peach, it's not sickly. It's not something that you want to brush your teeth after you take a sip. It's something that it's well balanced. It's got a nice acid to it. It's got a nice just roundness. So this is peach right here, isn't it? So it's nice and golden. We actually get all of our peaches and our nectarines from Jaymore Farms, which is literally 6 minutes away from here. Drew Eccles has been a good buddy of ours and a big supporter of us. So he's been selling us or giving us peaches, and so all of our peach wine for years has all been from just Jaymore. So Hall County fruit, which doesn't come any better than Hall County peaches, right? I think Zach Brown had said something about the best peaches in the state that he's ever had was from Lula, Georgia.
There you go.
But here we've got our dry blueberry wine. So even though sweet's in the name, Sweet Acre Farms, we do a dry, a medium sweet, we do a sweet, we do a super sweet wines. But this is our dry blueberry, which drinks a lot like a Merlot. It's 100% Georgia blueberries. Our blueberries came out of Alma, Georgia.
Yep.
Rabbit Eye Vineyard is Bell Farms, but he's got a winery down in Alma, Georgia called Rabbit Eye. But this is his fruit.
Took about
Rusty Bell.
About 12 pounds of blueberries.
Yeah, it takes about roughly 8 to 12 pounds of blueberries per bottle. This is our peach wine. Of course, it's our sweet ass peach. Here's our sweet ass peach bottle, and 100% Georgia peaches. This is our lemon wine. This is our lemon blackberry wine, which I don't have a bottle in front of me. Here we go. There's one right here. This is what we call quitting time. It's the only wine that we make that is diluted with water because you wouldn't want 100% lemon wine. It's also, the lemons don't come from the state of Georgia. We grow a lot of stuff in the state of Georgia. We don't grow lemons. These lemons actually come out of Texas. And we always mix a little bit of a secondary fruit with our lemon wine. Drinks like lemonade, we call it quitting time because
when you open the bottle, it's quitting time.
It's quitting time, yeah. It goes down so easy. I drink it over ice with a slice of lemon in it, and the wine is actually less sweet than a slice of lemon. So you can actually put your lemon in there, put your ice. The ice thins it down a little bit more, makes it even easier to drink. And then afterward, I like to eat the lemon because it's almost like candy, almost like a lemon head.
Yeah.
I call it the baby maker because it goes down so easy. The story goes, I had made some homemade lemon wine, and I had finished it and cleared it, and I put them in mason jars. I threw it in the refrigerator, got it nice and cold, and I worked on the farm all day. And I got off the tractor, came in, and it was probably 100 degrees out. And I remember that I put them in the refrigerator, so I took them out of the fridge and I downed one and then downed another and down a third. Finally quenched my thirst and had the fourth one. I'm sipping on it. My wife comes home from work. She says, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm drinking my lemon wine." She's like, "Are you drunk?" I said, "I think I am." I said, "Catch up," and I handed her her own mason jar. So when we sat down, we decided, what are we going to call it? What are we going to name it? She said, "What were you doing?" I said, "Well, it was quitting time." She goes, "That's the name, quitting time lemon wine." One of our biggest selling wines. It's very, very different. It's not as tart or as sour as most. Like if you went to Chick-fil-A and you got a lemon,
their lemonade.
It doesn't bite you in the back.
Right.
It's very smooth. It's very crisp. It's one of my favorite wines to drink. Most of the time, if I'm in a mood to drink a wine, that's the wine that I'm going to go for. I don't consider most of my wines dessert wines, but I don't like that one with sweets. I like it with popcorn, chips, tacos, hamburgers, pizza. Yes, tacos. I call it a junk food wine. It's something that if you're going to snack on or you're going to have junk food with, this is it. I went to a Falcons game with a buddy of mine, and they all had beer and all the coolers were loaded down. And of course, they made fun of me because, oh, here comes the wine guy with a cooler full of wine. And by the time the tailgate was over, all the beer was still left over and the lemon wine was gone. I think you'll agree, most of the time when men come into the winery, a lot of them are kind of standoffish and you up here with my wife, that sort of thing. But by the time they leave, they have fallen in love with our lemon wine.
Love lemon wine.
Yeah, it is just a super great tasting wine. So that's kind of the story of our wine and why we do what we do. We wanted to make a quality fruit wine, non-grape based, and it's taken us off from there. There are other wineries that make fruit wines in the state of Georgia or throughout the country. I don't think there's anybody out there who's doing it like we are.
Right.
And we're probably the only winery that's concentrating and putting all of its effort into fruit wines. It's my
Nothing
passion. Yeah, nothing but fruit wines. I don't know. I'm not a formally educated wine person. I've never even worked behind a bar before I opened the winery up. So it's probably the reason why I make fruit wine. If I would have known what I was doing, I probably would have made a grape wine or something like that. But this is what I've got, and this is what I think I'll always want. I do like dry wines. I like drinking, rosés and things like that. But this is what my passion has become, and I absolutely love it. We like to talk about how our wines are kind of a gateway wine. It's a very millennial forward wine in some ways. We get a lot of people who are in their 40s and 50s who come out. But if you don't know a lot about wine and you're kind of intimidated when you go to the grocery store and you see just these wall of wines and the different terminologies and names and places where they're from, we're a good gateway. We're a good way to kind of break into it. When I first started drinking grape wine, I thought that the grape wine was going to taste like a table grape or Welch's grape juice, and of course it wasn't. A lot of our wines, although have very high wine quality flavors in it, they kind of taste like you expect them to be. So you taste we used to have a dry strawberry.
Yeah.
It has that strawberry note, so it's familiar. And it's a good way to kind of break into the wine scene. It's a good way to kind of move on into it. But we've got customers from all over the globe. We ship our wines out online. We ship it to Alaska, we've shipped it to Hawaii, California, and we've shipped it to Warner Robins, Georgia, just down the road. So it's pretty neat where our customers come from and how they come out. But like I said, so here's our blackberry wine and our blueberry wine. This one's our dry. I think it tastes a lot like a Merlot. If you were to take a Merlot and our dry blueberry and I was to blindfold you, may not be able to tell the difference. It's got a lot of earthiness to it.
It's got the dryness of the Merlot. It's got the body. It's got the mouthfeel. When you sip it, that dryness hits you, but then the blueberry comes around and kind of brings in a little sweetness of it. But it still has a great dry finish to it.
Yeah, definitely. We like to say that it's fruity without being sweet. I know a lot of times we have a hard time differentiating the difference between fruity and sweet, because when you hear fruity, you think sweet. You think pop your mouth full of a strawberry or blueberries. They go hand in hand, but it's kind of a really neat kind of sensation to try it and to drink it. I love my blueberry wines. Obviously, with some soft cheeses and things like that. I like it with steak. Grilled asparagus, a nice medium rare steak. Anything that you would spaghetti, that sort of thing. I would even drink this with more of a chocolate, or maybe more of a dessert, maybe like a nice cake or something like that. I don't like most of my fruit wines that are sweeter with dessert,
Right.
because it's sweet compounded with sweet, so it's overwhelming. I like going to Wendy's and getting a Frosty with French fries, that sort of thing. I like that comparison. Why don't you talk about the peach wine?
All right, this is our Sweet Ass Peach. It's a blend of Georgia Belle and Alberta's, which are the two best peaches that you get in the state of Georgia. Georgia Belle is a white peach, Alberta's are a yellow, so that's how we get this nice kind of light gold color from it. This wine, when you taste it, you're getting all the peach. It's like you just bit into a peach. Your mouth gets watery. Has a great sweetness. It's got tartness. It's got, everything that a peach is from a tree is what our Sweet Ass Peach is. It embodies the state of Georgia. It really does. When people think peach state, this is it in a glass.
Yeah, real peachy. I even get almost an apricot flavor from it. You get this nice kind of backdrop
with
to
that
it.
tartness of it. Yeah.
We add a little acid to it to kind of counterbalance some of the sweetness that you would get from a peach. So it's got this nice kind of tartness to it. It's not overwhelming though. It's not. It's just an easy drinking, non-pretentious, easygoing wine. And that was kind of one of the themes that we wanted our winery to be, is a non-pretentious, easygoing, country-style wine. We're country, we're southern, we're farmers. We wanted our winery to represent the wine itself and our community. We wanted anybody and everybody to feel like they're country, whether you're from New York or downtown Atlanta, whether you've never spent a day on a farm or whether you spent your whole life on it. We wanted everybody to be country when they show up. And our slogan is country wine for the country kind. And that's what our wines really do represent. You're not going to find us in 5-star restaurants or things like that. I'd like any of you about to have a 5-star restaurant, give me a call. I'd love to put my wine in there.
Absolutely.
But they're just fun. They're fun conversational wines. They're fun wines to take to the beach or on your boat or at the pool, yeah, or on the back porch and get in your rocking chair and start sipping some lemon wine, which is what this is here. Like I said, it's our lemon blackberry. We do a lemon blueberry and a lemon strawberry. In the past, we've done a lemon white muscadine, which is actually one of our most awarded wines. We've done lemon red muscadine, we've done lemon peach, we've done lemon apple. But lemon blackberry, lemon blueberry would be kind of our staple. Again, it's a thin-bodied, easy drinking wine. 10% alcohol, which is still way more than you would get out of Mike's Hard Lemonade or any other malt beverages you get at the gas station or grocery store. This will make you feel pretty good pretty quick. You get this. It's a very foreign nose. It smells a lot different than what you would get out of a lot of other wines. But you do get that blackberry, and you do get kind of this almost a lemon rind kind of nose.
Right, yeah.
A little bitter, but still real clean and crisp. Like I said, I love this wine.
It is. I mean, and the colder you can get it, the better it is. Like you were saying, pour it over ice with a lemon wedge, or I even like to do lime just to add, a little twist to it. But it is. I mean, and that's even with all of our wines. I even say the colder they are, the better they are because of the fruit in it. It really highlights the fruit. It brings it out. It mellows. It just makes it easy drinking wine.
Yeah. With our wines, and any wine in particular, but ours especially, if you drink it at room temperature, the warmer the wine is, the more flavor you'll get, but the less sweet it'll be. Whereas the colder it is, the more sweet it'll be and the little less flavor you'll get. So if you're ever at a dinner party and you drink this wine and it is just terribly dry and you just cannot, get it down, chill it. I know it's sacrilegious, but put a cube of ice in there and kind of thin it down a little bit. Or if you ever at a dinner party and you're a drier drinker and it's just a sweeter wine, let it warm up a little bit. Put your hand around the base of it, and then just kind of warm it up, and it'll get a little more flavor, a little less sweet. He likes our dry blueberry cold. I prefer it at room temperature, and I do lean a little bit more drier when it comes to some of our darker wines. Since I've gotten into wine, white wines tend not to be my favorite. I prefer a darker red wine, unless it's fruity, and then it doesn't matter. And that's one of the things that a lot of people, they just don't know how to identify our wines. They don't know what category it should be or what it is. And I say if wines are horses or zebras, we look like horses, but we've got stripes. So although this is a red wine, and although this is more of a white wine, and this is more of a rosé, it just doesn't quite follow in the traditional categories. And just so people know, the way people categorize wine in general, a red, a white, or a rosé, is purely on color. It has nothing to do with what's in it or its sweetness. So if it's a red wine and it's colored red, then it's a red wine. Same thing with white and same thing with rosé. But you do get fruitiness and you do get a different experience when you drink our red wines or our white wines or our rosés than someone else. And I find a lot of people, if you really love wine and you're into the hobby of doing things, you have to branch out, you have to try new things. A lot of the times, wine drinkers especially, they can be very narrow focused, and I just love to challenge people to come into our place and try different stuff. Try our stuff and then compare it. I love trying anything. I don't care if it's a pomegranate wine, a banana wine, shoot, I'll try anything because I just love to see the different types of wines that are out there. And regionally, you can try a Canadian blueberry wine and it'll be so much different. And wine has a lot to do with the winemaker's personality. I think you can take the same batch of grapes from the same farm, from the same year, the same vine, the same plant, and you can give it to one winemaker and give it to another, and they're going to come out different because you can put a lot of personality into the wine itself. So when you try other people's wines, you're trying that person's personality, and it can even, I mean, to get deep, it really shows deep down inside what that person is like and kind of what they've went through and how they've got to where they're at. My wines have changed since hiring Taylor. Taylor has his own palate, his own way of doing things, and as silly, as stupid as it sounds, I can taste Taylor and his personality in the wines since he's gotten here. So come out, try our wines. I'd love to have you out. Like I said, we're in North Hall County. Any information you want to find, we're all over social media. Thanks, Rotary, for featuring us, and
big thanks.
And we hope to see you guys again soon.
Have fun in the sun.